Buenas tardes a todos y todas. Mi nombre es Alejandra Fuentes. Soy de Ciudad Juárez, pero crecí en El Paso, Texas. Y hoy voy a dar mi conferencia en inglés por dos razones. La primera, porque vengo de Ciudad del Paso y quiero representar a nuestra bella ciudad. Y la segunda es porque mi familia está aquí hoy y quiero que sepan que sí valió la pena mandarme a estudiar inglés al Chuco, Texas. So. Pero para seguir con esta celebración binacional, mi presentación va a estar en español para que nos puedan seguir acompañando en el tema. ¿Qué es la regulación? Regulation is when you go inside of your body and you calm your own nerves down. I want to start with a question here today. I want to ask everybody here if there has ever been a time where you practice an argument and you practice it in front of the mirror, but then the day of the discussion, you went blank. Or you said something you did not mean and you regretted it the second it came out of your mouth. Woo! A todos. Happens to everybody. For me, when I came to El Paso, Texas, I did not speak English very well. Much less I knew how to give presentations in English. Nerves would always get the best of me. I'm a shaker, so I would shake. I'd be up here shaking, hoping nobody would notice, but they noticed. I loved the idea of public speaking because it took me on a journey to understand what makes up a public speaker. So when I was Googling, how do I become a public speaker? The first thing that came up was Toastmasters. So I was told, go find a Toastmasters community and start practicing your ideas there. Okay, step one, done. Then I looked into books, research, and everything that was available online that could show me what made up a good public speaker. And I came up with these two pillars. Every book, all of the research said identity and technique. Identity is believing that we can give a speech. Because if we come up here and we're like, I can't give a speech, I can't give a speech, I can't give a speech, that's gonna happen. You're not gonna give your speech well. So you have to believe that you can give a speech. I can do hard things. I can give a speech. I am a good communicator. It starts up here. The other side is the technique. Storytelling, pacing, voice, practicing. You can read all of the books about swimming in the world, but if you don't get in the water multiple times, you will never learn how to swim. So practice is the key to every single public speaker that exists. And let me tell you a quick story about how my theory was wrong. I work for the city of El Paso, which means I have to give presentations to council, city council. So I practiced, I put my techniques down, I had all my material down, and I was telling myself, I got this, I can give this presentation. I go up to the podium, I put up my presentation, but the presentation was wrong. The PowerPoint, the slides, they were wrong. So that threw me into fear. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And no matter how many affirmations I said, no matter how much I practiced, my body froze. My hands wouldn't move. And my director was telling me, are you okay? Do you need me to present for you? I was like, no, I got it, thank you. What happened? I practiced. I told myself I could do this. So what happened? And when I did research about this, it showed that speaking is very tied to anxiety. The reason public speaking is the most studied anxiety in the world, it's because it's part of regular anxiety. It turns on the same parts of your brain as regular panic attacks would turn on in your nervous system. So I had to go back to the books to find out why I froze, even though I had the identity and the practice done. So I found out that when you are scared, your nervous system goes into what's called the survival mode, modo superviviente. So whenever we're scared, we jump into one of these forms: fight, flight, fear, fawn. Froze, fawn. So that's what happened to me. I was frozen. Me quedé en blanco, no sabía qué decir. So my nervous system went into freeze mode, which took over my presentation. And I thought there has to be one more pillar in the public speaking communication. Because if you have your mindset and if you have your preparation, but that's not enough, then what else is missing? So here is my theory. The third pillar of communication. Instead of just preparation, what to say, and your identity, who I am, there was also a third part, which is your nervous system. It doesn't matter how much preparation we have. If we don't know how to control your nervous system, it's going to hijack you and take over your presentation. So I created what's called an emergency speaking card, la tarjeta de presentación de emergencia. Take a picture, memorize it, but next time that you have a presentation, keep this in mind. Yes, you have to prepare. You have to prepare. I cannot emphasize that enough. But you also have to tell yourself, I got this. I can do this. I am a great public speaker. And then you remember me, the third part, your nervous system. Regulate before you communicate. Because if we come up here and we did not even take a breath, we're already in survival mode. So it is our duty, our responsibility to tell our nervous system that we are safe. And you have to tell yourself that you are safe because nobody else is going to remind you of that. It is our job. So the first technique that I want to give you all to take with you today is called the physiological sigh, el suspiro fisiológico. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. You're going to take a deep breath. And then when you get to the point where you can't breathe anymore, you're going to take one deep breath more and then relax. So it looks like this. You breathe in. And then at the top, don't forget that top part of the breath. La parte de arriba es lo más importante, ese respiro, ese suspiro. Entonces, respirar para adentro. Y otra vez. And what that does is it activates our parasympathetic system, which tells our body that we are safe. And it helps us calm down. So when I was sitting in that chair, I was doing 30 physiological signs. So I was already shaking and my hands were already sweating. So I've been in Toastmasters 6 years, but I still have to regulate my nervous system every single time I come up here. The second one is tu técnica, your technique. You have to tell yourself, I can do hard things. I believe in myself. Just those two. If you can't remember anything else, I can do hard things. I can give this presentation. Yo puedo hacer cosas difíciles y yo puedo dar esta presentación. And then the last one is your technique. Let's say you've never been to Toastmasters before, but you want to give a good speech. Then you just write down 3 ideas that you want to convey to your public. That way, if you freeze like me and you forget everything that you need to say, you're like, okay, what was my 3 ideas? Okay, let me go to the second one. So you have your technique, your regulation, and your identity down. And one of the most important parts about your journey in public speaking is that you need a safe community to learn these skills. And that was my favorite part. Yes, I love teaching public speaking through my business, The President's Lab. I give workshops to schools, organizations, so that I can teach them how to master their nerves before they give a presentation. But the community part is the most important part of all of Toastmasters, because there are leaders like you that want the same goals and outcomes. They want to become a better speaker. They want to lead in the community. And we need to surround ourselves with those people so that we can grow alongside of them. In El Paso, we have 5 clubs. I am from the President's Club of El Paso, but we also have Gateway Toastmasters, Northeast, Border Toasters, and Eastside. So if you are in the beautiful city of El Paso and you want to join a beautiful community, please join any of these clubs. We would be happy to have you. Thank you.